Everyone, Jackie and Ricky here with Enjoying Life's Journey. Welcome back to our channel. So today's video is going to be a budget with us video. Before we get on the computer and jump on Excel and start doing our January budget, Ricky and I did want to go over some of our goals for 2017 and possibly the future, and we're categorizing them kind of as financial goals because they are going to require some money to help make them happen. But real quick, also, I did not do income expense report for November and December. So if you guys still want to see that, leave me a comment below, and I would be glad to go ahead and make those up for you guys. If you're not familiar with the channel, we are a full-time RVing family as of basically September 2016. So a lot of our income expense reports is going to show you what a full-time RVing / traveling family is going to look like. As well, we do some work camping jobs, and right now we currently have some months off, so you're going to see how we are able to kind of save some money to live off of for the next couple months. We started doing budget report cards last year while we were working on getting out of debt and renovating the RV and everything. So we were following Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps when we started this. So we were documenting saving our $1,000 and then getting out of debt with the debt snowball, and then saving our emergency fund, which we've had to spend while on the road, and we have since replenished. However, again, we're going to be living off of some of that savings now. So one of the goals will to be continually to keep our emergency fund fully stocked if we can. And then Ricky's going to talk about some of our other goals.
This year's new goals and challenge is save up more money, get our passport, and travel overseas. So hopefully we get to put more videos. That's very exciting. We might visit Thailand, China, who knows, Philippines, South America. If you guys have any good ideas where to go, also just let us know. Just leave a comment.
Yeah, we want to find places where the US dollar will go farther. So yeah, if you have any recommendations for us, leave them in the comments for that. Also, when we did the sugar beet harvest this year, or this last year, we weren't able to go into Canada because we didn't have our passport. So when we do the sugar beet this year, we like to go up to Canada as well.
We're going to be looking for a land for sale.
Are we gonna look for land across seas too? I don't know.
Maybe.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Can the U.S., can we buy land in another country, or do we have to be citizens of that other country? If you know that, let us know. We have a lot of questions for you guys.
We're trying to find a home base. I mean, somewhere here in the U.S. Maybe Texas, Oregon, yeah, Nebraska. I think Nebraska is calling me also.
Yeah? That was the one where we stayed by that reservoir lake.
Okay.
I liked South Dakota.
South Dakota or
parks,
Colorado.
The parks there, but yeah.
South Dakota.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, South Dakota, North Dakota.
I don't know.
If you have any good ideas, any good, nice location that you think it's very affordable and...
Somewhere, and well, key point, it has to be a couple acres and somewhere that doesn't have restrictions where we can park the RV, because the RV is our home. And we want to keep it our home for at least the next couple years. To then possibly build,
build a cabin,
or a tiny house or something.
Tiny house.
Yeah. What we want land for is to have like a mini homestead, maybe, a home base for a couple months. And then, like Ricky was saying, travel overseas.
Yep, maybe Russia.
Where our dollar will go farther.
We just want to travel more.
Yeah, we want to travel more. We were almost like, we initially hit the road in the U.S. thinking, oh, there's so many states to see. But as we drive through so many of them, we notice a lot of the states, it's all the same scenery. We've kind of seen all the same scenery. So it would be nice to go to other countries and check out different cultures and learn more about that. And like I said, possibly, I mean, who knows if...
Philippines?
Yeah, maybe even buy property there. But it would be nice to have a couple acres here in the U.S. where we can definitely has as a home base. Our RV can be parked, and then, like I said, maybe homesteading during the summer, traveling to warmer countries in the winter. So those are some future goals we have. So financially, we have to save, get the passports. There's 4 of us. We need to save for some land because we are out of debt. We want to continue to stay out of debt.
But then it's gonna be a challenge also because there's gonna be sacrifice.
Yeah.
Stuff that we can really do, but at the same time, it is gonna be rewarding.
Yeah. And we've learned that by the journey of getting out of debt.
Yep.
So we know what it's like to make sacrifices so you later have a bigger reward. So that's the goal, is to have that
bigger reward. Or
yeah, so the goal is to stay out of debt. Now that we're out of debt, is to stay out of debt. So if we can buy some land with cash and then take our time, we can save up again, like do a small cabin or tiny home, something again that we can pay cash for, or maybe even work on as a project.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very interesting transformation.
Yeah, and that's not all happening this year.
Yeah, it's not going to happen right away, but if you watch the video, you will see the progress more
that we've set. Yeah, we have a lot on the playlist.
We still have a lot of ways to go, but
yeah,
we're up for the challenge.
Yeah.
This is going to be our new challenge. So
so we're excited. So it's kind of like our finance / travel lifestyle goals for the coming years, I think. Have any good places in the U.S. That you think are good as far as owning some land that is cheap, affordable, possibly, no restrictions, and, a good place possibly for growing a small garden or something.
No crazy neighborhoods.
Yeah, no crazy neighborhoods. Leave it in the comments. And then also, if you know of any countries, any of you guys out there from other countries, and you know the U.S. dollar stretches longer, let us know of some places that we should go visit as well, because it would be nice to start auditing our horizons.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We're excited. So January's budget isn't gonna look all that exciting because we're not working right now, but we're gonna go ahead and do the budget with us. So thanks for listening to our goals. I know it might have been a long intro for the video, but I'm just gonna briefly do the budget real quick with you guys. You guys can see how I do a zero-based budget, and hopefully you guys can get started on a budget for the new year. So also, I recommend you guys always do a new budget every month, because you're going to have different expenses from month to month. And Dave Ramsey mentions to do a monthly budget meeting with your spouse. So a lot of times I'll sit down and do the budget, and then Ricky goes over it and makes changes that he finds necessary, which is a good way to have 2 eyes looking at it. But also, I encourage you to do your budget every week, just to make sure you're on track, or if things change, you can adjust your money. I'm gonna do the budget, and then, all right, everyone. So we're looking at my December budget. So I did, while we were in Kentucky, I did do a small series on budgeting. I showed how to make this spreadsheet in Excel. So if you want to see how to make this in Excel, I'll leave that video in the description box. So basically, then what I do, once I make my initial spreadsheet, I just copy and paste it so I have a new one. Also, I typically will actually budget at least 2 months at a time. That's just so I know if there's any bills coming out at the beginning of the month that I need to cover with future months' funds. But again, we've kind of been on this little bit of vacation mode here, not having to work, so I'm a little bit behind, but that's okay because we can jump back in. So I'm just going to copy and paste my template here. I'm not going to go over income expense report from last month. If you guys want me to do that, then I will. Right, I'm going to paste that. So when you paste it, you're going to see all these little number signs. That just means that the cell is not big enough, so I'm just going to double click up on the letter up here, and it will spread out for me. It's going to be for January, so first thing I'm going to do is say January. Alright. The other thing, I budget for the entire month, so this is my budget for the entire month, and then I do it based on paychecks. Again, we are not currently working, so I'm not going to have all these paychecks. When we were at Amazon, we were getting paid every Friday. So the only income I'm expecting to have this month is from my Google YouTube, and that usually comes around the 20th. So I'm actually going to end up deleting these rows, the extra rows I do not need. So I'm just going to highlight them and delete them really. Okay, so I'm only going to have basically one pay thing. I'm going to say the 22nd. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through this and I'm going to go ahead and clear out all these cells because this stuff hasn't happened yet. And again, if you want to see how I have these that add up automatically for me, you can check that out as well. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear out my budget amount as well, because December I budgeted a little bit differently. I had these bigger numbers here because I was purposely making sure I had enough to cover certain bills for December, January, and February. So I'm going to go ahead and cross these out now. Normally, because that cost would typically be the same month to month, certain costs are the same month to month, I would keep it there. However, that's not the case right now. And we had Christmas that we don't have. And again, we're not working right now. So basically a clean slate, right? But I don't have to reformat any of my stuff. I'm going to push save because I don't want to forget about that. Google and YouTube, I should be making 176. That's all I'm making. So you might think, oh, how do you live off of 176? Like I mentioned, we saved money specifically to make sure certain bills were covered for January and February. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out carpool. We're not carpooling this month, and we don't have any bonuses coming in this month. So I'm just going to add a tab here saying rollover. And so that's the money I had saved, okay? So I had $3,074. Okay, that's what I'm going to say I have to work with for this month. 176 is basically the income I'm going to be making. We have $3,274 saved, so we're going to roll that over and we're going to budget out. I do a zero-based budget, so now from here I'm going to tell it where to go, whether it's to continue saving or if it's to pay certain bills. Okay, so I added, if you guys watched my budget videos before, I have rearranged some of my categories on the side here, and I had added percentages to those areas, so what I wanted to try to keep in those areas based off of a few different financial people. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust. I'm just going to take them off because right now, because we're just living off of savings right now, I'm not going to be focusing too much on those percentages. I changed this, like I said, to pay yourself first. So again, I've done this a little bit different from what you guys may have seen before. And we have our emergency savings. So these are kind of like savings, mini savings accounts or personal development type things. So we have emergency savings, healthcare, homeschool, Ricky's personal development, my personal development, business, and Roth IRA if we potentially if we start investing in that. Then we have our giving. So we have gifts, donations, necessities, groceries, gas for the car, gas for the RV, propane, laundry. We do a lot of laundromats right now. Diapers, which hopefully we'll be done with diapers soon. Campsites if we stay at campsites. Dump stations if we can't find a free one. Our cell phones, Adobe Cloud, our car, RV insurance, personal care, household care, the girls, commission jobs, car maintenance / replacement, RV maintenance / replacement, car RV registrations, Good Sam roadside, and our full-time families. These are bills that we have. Don't necessarily come out on a regular basis, but they basically are bills that we would have at some point in the year. So if you noticed before, I had it set up with sinking funds and then regular expenses, and I just put them all and I put necessities because for the most part these are necessities for us. However, full-time families and the Good Sam, honestly, we haven't even utilized those memberships. We have used roadside assistance twice to tow the RV. So the roadside assistance was a great investment. Good Sam, full-time families, we haven't even utilized those, so I don't think I will renew those next year. RV maintenance / replacement. So maybe not necessarily replacing the RV, but like we talked about, possibly building a cabin or a tiny home, so we want to start funding for those types of things. Okay, so those would count for some of the goals we had talked about. The other thing we didn't really account for on here is purchasing property. So I'd probably add somewhere in here the property. And then our fun category, we have eating out, drinks, events, vacations, which would be our traveling overseas, Ricky's pocket money, and my pocket money. So these are the categories in our budget. And again, everyone is going to be different. Dave Ramsey has a good form to get you started, and that's what I used for about a year, and then I started doing my own on here. And as our goals have evolved, our budget has evolved to accommodate those goals. And if you notice, we have no debt payments because we're out of debt, which is awesome. This category here, balances. So again, if I was putting, say, $1,000 in my emergency fund, it would roll over and I would say, okay, I have this much in my emergency fund as a balance. The due date are for specific things that have a due date. So for instance, like I said, in December, I had budgeted these categories for 3 months worth of items. So now I'm only going to be budgeting them for 2 months because December is over. And that's just how we were able to plan ahead and to have enough money saved to live off of for a couple months without needing to work, you guys. Which that was one of our goals getting out of debt, was that we wouldn't have to work as much, so we'd have more time. Now these 3 bills have actual due dates. I put the date of the month and then we have the month. So we know those have to come out. So I want to make sure if we had a paycheck or something before that due date that we scheduled it for that. And then here, scheduled dates. So these are automatically come out of my account. They're scheduled to come out on the due date. So that's how it is. Another thing I recommend is if you're having difficulty remembering to pay things at a certain time, ask the company if you can do an automatic withdrawal like the day after you'd get paid. If you have direct deposit, you get paid, every Friday. See if you can have it taken out the following Monday. Because really, the faster you get it out of your account, the less you don't have to worry about accidentally spending it. Because I know I used to have that problem a lot. So yeah, so these balances are actually going to be different now because I'm basically going to start over on my month with this amount here. I'm actually going to delete all of these. I'm starting over for the year, you guys, basically. December looked crazy because I was trying something new. These are cash. Those are the girls' money that they've earned from doing chores, or if they were given gift money for any holidays, we put it in their little savings account. Okay, so now I'm cleared up and I'm ready to actually do my budget. So this is how much money I have. I'm going to tell it where to go. I'm going to start with groceries. Because we are working off savings, I want to make sure that these bills here are covered for January and February before I do anything, because these are my necessities. Okay, so our cell phone bill is $90 a month, so I want to make sure I have 2 months worth again, so I need to budget 180 of that. So Adobe Cloud is $10.36 a month, and I may be canceling it or converting it because right now I have the photographer set, which is Lightroom and Photoshop, and I might be just changing it for a new editing software. I'm not sure yet. But if I need to at least cover those 2 months, I know I need $20.72 to cover those months. And then our car RV insurance is $99.37 a month, so again I need 2 months for that. So I have that there. So those 3 are my due dates. Those come out automatically, so I want to make sure I budget those first for ourselves here. Diapers, we usually spend about $40 a month for diapers and wipes, so I'm gonna need $80 for 2 months worth of those. Laundry, right now we're staying at my brother's house, so we've been lucky enough we can use his washer and dryer. However, before we leave here, we will be chipping in with him because of being able to use the electricity and laundry and all of that. Probably going to put in a separate category, but for February, I don't know where we're going to be doing laundry. Usually when we do laundry, it costs us about anywhere from $8 to $20 depending on how many loads we have and what they charge per load. So gonna go ahead and just put $40 for laundry, so $20 for each month. Propane, usually it's been about $24 when we filled it up, so I'm just gonna count it for 2 months. Whether we end up spending that or not, we'll see. Okay, RV gas. We're currently stationary, but we will be driving. We're in Elgin, Texas. We'll be driving up towards Dallas, Texas in a January or so. So we're going to say 300 in case if we end up driving the RV twice within that time frame. That gives us, roughly about 2 days worth of driving for our RV. Car gas, because we are stationary, we will be driving a lot more. I'm going to say 150. So the groceries, when we were getting out of debt, we stuck to a good, very tight grocery budget of $8 a day. So if there was 31 days in the month, we times it by 8. That's kind of how we did it. Then we upped it to $9 once we were out of debt. Then when we hit the road, we upped it to $10 a day. And that, we have gone over that, but we're going to go ahead and just stick to the $10 a day. January has 31 days, right? So that's 310. So then February has 28 days. So 280 plus 310. So we're going to budget 590 for groceries. Again, we're budgeting to make sure we have everything we need for January and February. We will be doing our taxes. We usually get a decent refund back, and we usually get it about mid-February. So there's a good chance that we'll have more money in February, but we want to just make sure we're totally covered in case there's a delay. So again, I wanted to make sure these specific bills were due or were covered for both months. That way we're in a good situation. And then we're going to see how much we have left. So we have $1,842. So we want to make sure we have the RV maintenance. We do need 2 new tires, 2 of the front tires on the RV. That's like a must that we need to get done. We had called before when we were in Michigan. We almost had them done, and it was going to cost around $800. So I'm just going to go ahead and budget $800 right off the bat. The tires and a realignment. That was quoted in Michigan. So it could be a little bit more, I'm not sure, but we're going to go ahead and make sure we have the $800 aside no matter what. Car maintenance, we had the oil changed in Michigan, so we are good on the oil change probably at least through February for the car. The RV, Ricky changed the oil on our drive from Kentucky over to Texas, so the oil's good on the RV as well, so those are good. Basically, those are covering those necessities. All right, so the next thing we budget out, because our main things are covered. Normally, if we were stationary and we were working consistently, it would be to keep doing the emergency fund. But right now, we're kind of just living off of those funds. So we do want to make sure we're categorizing some of our fund money. And because we don't have set what we're going to do yet, I just put it under my events, and then I can budget it out later. So we're gonna say, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and just say $100 a month for fun for now. So that gives us $200. That's just so we can eat out and do a few things around here in Texas. So that leaves $842.54. You know, and I'm gonna go ahead and change this. I'm gonna say it's January, February's budget. Okay, because I'm doing 2 months in one this time, you guys. Like I mentioned, there is a good chance that in February, like mid-February, we'll get our tax return. I will still do another budget in February. I will update this in February. However, that's just, I want to make sure those things are covered. So those things are covered for the 2 months. Dump stations, we're going to try to find free dump stations. However, there's no guarantee. We do have a Flying J card where we can dump for $3. So if we had to, we'd probably do that. So I'm just gonna put $10 aside, $20. So I'll say $10 a month for dump stations. That's over exaggerating, because if you go to sandydumps.com, you can find free dump stations, but that's just in case there's not any close enough and we don't want to be driving. Now the other thing, campsites. We haven't, like right now we're staying in front of my brother's place, and then we're going to be at our other friend who actually has some property closer to Dallas, and we'll be staying there. So we shouldn't have to pay for any campsites. Household personal care. So personal care, things like toothpaste, things like that. So we're going to go ahead and budget, say $20 a month. So we're going to do $40 for that. Household is paper towels, cleaning, things like that. So we're going to do the same thing, $20 a month, so $40 for that. And I'm going to put on here that's January and February. You guys don't have to be this detail oriented if you don't want to. I like to do it. So I have $742.54 left. So we're just going to put the rest of that into emergency savings. We've given every dollar a name, so we have 0 base budget. So that's just basically, that's our budget. That's going to be our budget for January and February. Basically, like I said, we are not working any seasonal jobs right now. And after tax time, we'll determine when we will be looking for another work camping job. We will be doing the sugar beet harvest again. We've already signed up, we've already reapplied, and we've already talked to them. So we're super excited to do the sugar beet again. So that's for October. So we're in Texas now. The plan is to work our way slowly back up to North Dakota by October. So that's kind of why we're just hanging out in Texas for a while, visiting family and friends, and then we'll see what else we need to do. I hope this helped you guys in creating your own zero-based budget. Again, you can do yours just for January, but I do encourage you to maybe copy and paste this twice and go ahead and do your January and February budget just so you're a step ahead of the game. And let me know in the comments again if you want an income expense report from November and December. Let me know. If not, we'll just skip it and we'll move on. Let us know if you have any favorite places for buying property, land in the U.S., and cheap places for us to travel across the country where our dollar will go more. So leave us a comment below. As always, thanks for watching.